Assalamu alaikum, I am Abdul Rauf and welcome to Bodyweight Movement. This video is the second part of Road to Planche series. In this video, I'll share the progress that I made in the planche and front lever, and also I'll tell you about my one more achievement. It had been 1 month since I started planche and front lever training. And if you want to know about the beginning of this journey, you can watch the first video of this series. Before we talk about the progress, let's talk about the injuries, because those are the main things that are stopping me from making fast progress. As I told you in the first video of this series, that in the first week I just did tuck planche and tuck front lever to build some awareness to these straight arm moves and also to condition my joints and muscles for these skills. And also I told you that in the first week I was feeling that my right elbow was going to get injured, but actually after that week nothing bad happened and my elbow got strong. I just started to contract my biceps consciously and it felt great. This was actually not the main injury. This was just a discomfort that was happening due to not contracting my biceps properly. The main injury was the left shoulder injury, and it is still there and it is stopping me from making fast progress. Due to this injury, the training had not been very consistent because my goal was to train planche and front lever at least 3 times per week, but sometimes I just trained 1 time per week, so you can imagine the speed of progress. After the first week, I bought a set of resistance bands. These are awesome for making progress in static skills, as with the help of these you can train the position which is your goal and you can build volume in that position. So after the first week, I started doing isometric holds of straddle planche with bands, as I was strong in these skills. So from the first day I started training my planche with the band which had the medium kind of resistance, and after some days of training I transferred it to the lighter band. With that lighter band I was able to hold it for 5 to 7 seconds, so the intensity in that position was very high. So most of the time I used the medium band to build a lot of volume in that position. And actually one day I thought that I would do 20 seconds straddle planche hold, and I was able to do it. But after some hold time my scapula started to retract, but I was just focusing on holding it for 20 seconds, and that was really hard. Now the main thing I have to work in my planche is my scapula. I have to make it more strong, so from now on I will work on the scapula protraction with some scapula push-ups. And if we talk about the front lever, the main thing that I did was advanced tuck front lever, and in the front lever I didn't use the bands very much. In addition to the advanced tuck front lever, I started to work on my favorite exercise for the front lever, that is front lever pull eccentrics. But unfortunately I had to stop doing that exercise because my shoulder was not feeling happy with that. And after some days of training I discovered another progression of the front lever, and that is poised straddle front lever. Now in the front lever the main goal is a straddle front lever with 180-degree angle at the hips. So I have started it with 90-degree angle at the hips, and I will slowly transfer it to 180-degree angle at the hips. Now before talking about the progress that I made in the planche and front lever, I want to talk more about the bands. Now the resistance bands are great as you are training in the position you want to achieve, and some people think that these are magical. You just do the exercise with these and you'll get it super fast, but it doesn't work like that. Building strength takes time and you have to be patient for that. Also there are some downsides with these bands. Like if you take the example of planche here, if you're doing the tuck planche you don't have to lean that much, but if you suddenly go from the tuck planche to assisted straddle planche, the angle will decrease at the wrists and this may cause wrist injury. For this, what you should do is build the wrist mobility, also train the pseudo planche lean to build the strength in relevant muscles and build the mobility in the relevant joints. Also sometimes people use very light bands to go into the position that is very hard for them, and the intensity of that exercise is very high, so that may also cause injury, and injuries are the worst in training. One day I was training and I got into my mind that why not to try to do the handstand push-up today. If you had been following me for a while, then you would have known that I was training for the handstand push-up in the past, and I was super close to the handstand push-up that you can see here, but the shoulder injury got into the way there as well. But on that day I tried to do the handstand push-up and I actually achieved it. There I was using a little bit elevation to make the handstand push-up a little bit easier, and if we compare this handstand push-up with the handstand push-up on the floor, I am actually using the more range of motion here. This is actually harder than the handstand push-up on the floor, and this is really a great achievement. So now I will work on my handstand push-ups, but after achieving the goals of planche and front lever. Now let's talk about the progress that I made in the first month of my planche and front lever journey. One day I was training a sport, not calisthenics. After about 1 hour of training, it got into my mind that why not to test my planche and front lever today. After that 1 hour of training I was tired, but I was feeling excited for testing my planche and front lever to see how much progress I have made in those. So when I tried to do it, I was feeling very happy because it has got so close. I just did it for about 1 second, but that is more than enough for me. Because if we compare this with the first week of training, I was not even able to go into the straddle planche position. So this is the closest I have ever got to my planche. And if we talk about the front lever, the progress is there, but it is kind of similar to the first week of training because I was focusing more on my planche than front lever. But actually that doesn't matter. I am happy with the progress that I made, and that's it for today's video. If you are enjoying my journey and are learning something from it, then give a like to the video. If you want any help or video on any topic, leave the comment. Also you can DM me on the Instagram and also follow me there. Link of that is in the description. So I'll see you in the next one. Allah Hafiz.